There we go.
Me.
Hello, everybody who might be watching this random stream. I have pronounce your name. I want to say is, but I know it's wrong to say that.
Yeah, is the original. But you know what? You have to give me your link, the link to your YouTube thingy, because otherwise no one will watch.
There we go. I'm sorry. Can you?
Is it original? Give me the link right now, because otherwise, you know, Moscow will not be happy with you.
I do love your Russian accent.
My Russian imitation. You know, it's the good thing about Russian imitation is no one in America knows how Russians pronounce shit, and so I can just go completely crazy and no one will understand the difference.
Do you ever use that? Like, if you don't want to talk to somebody, like a stranger, do you always just like turn on the Russian accent and just like, I don't speak English well enough to talk to you?
Oh, you know, I really go creative there. Because people have a very tough time with accents. And so I'm like, oh no, I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I don't understand. No, you're racist. Don't talk to me.
If someone starts talking to me in my perfect American accent, I say, I don't speak English.
Can you send me the link of your YouTube thing?
My YouTube channel, yes.
No, not your YouTube channel from the video. Because how am I supposed to tweet it out if you don't? I'm lazy. Come on.
Oh, for the actual video. Okay, I'll do that in a second. The other person who's here is Shifty Speak, who I just met. I don't actually think I've officially met either, because I think when I joined the Hangout we were in, he wasn't talking. Yeah. I don't actually think I've met.
But he's awesome. He's awesome. You should subscribe to him, and you should subscribe to Rhetoric, and links in the description below eventually. And there you go.
Yep.
My Twitter is Shifty Rixie, and my channel is Shifty Speak. So
yeah, and mine is Isaac Original, very American. Me an American head.
All right, let's see. Okay, so this I will post in here, and then you will have it and you can tweet it.
Yeah, you tweet it, and also put the links of the tweets and the YouTube channels in the description. Will be fine.
Oh my goodness, so much work. Yeah. I can work on that. Well, you guys
why you pretend like we're actually talking?
Yeah, you will talk. Yeah. I'll work on this.
Yeah. See that's slavery 2.0. He's like voluntarily slavering for us.
That's gonna happen.
I have to tell you a personal story, and I found out about it only a couple of years ago. Back, you know, I don't know how many years this is ago. My mother, quite a couple of centuries ago, I'm pretty sure. My mother used to have some kind of nobility title given from the family, because like it was like the guy and the guy and the guy, whatever. Anyway, so technically she was part of some kind of weird nobility title, and they had slaves, right? Because I am first generation American, I could not have black slaves. But she had slaves, not she personally, but like the ancestors. So our ancestors are slaves. Problem is, they were all white as cheese. They were all white as chalk. So now what are you doing? It's like I oppressed white people. How am I fixing that up?
Oh, like South African white slavery type of thing.
No, how are you fixing that ever? Like there's no way. No way. And it's like, it's so long ago, people don't even know about it anymore. People don't know that we're white slaves. How is that possible? People were enslaving each other constantly. I mean, before you had communism in Russia, you had like this very short period where farmers were actually free to do what the hell they wanted. Before, they were all owned by some kind of landlord.
I think it was Louis C.K. has this awesome bit called "Of Course, But Maybe," and I don't want to ruin it, but there's part of it where he talks about, hey, you know, like maybe every great, impressive human achievement that's ever occurred in history was because of slavery. Just saying. Like, how'd you? We just threw a bunch of human misery at it.
Yeah.
Pyramids.
You know, the thing is, even in the pyramids, you know, you had a lot of people who were actually volunteering for this shit back in the days, because religious stuff.
Well,
when you religiously volunteer to do something for free and get barely some food and water, I consider that voluntary slavery.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine, I don't know because I'm not a historian, but I would imagine it probably wasn't all that worse or different than their like agrarian peasant lives or whatever you would say. I don't know, but it seems to me like the conditions you would be in, I don't know. Like it didn't seem like it would be all that different. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know the history well enough. Did I get disappeared again?
No, you're still here.
No, you're there.
Okay.
No, it's just I tried to tweet this out, but you know, as long as you're sober, you kind of manage to do multitasking. But the more Parmelas you get in your blood, the harder it gets, and then you try to focus, and then you kind of cannot focus on two things, and it kind of gets awkward.
If you've never listened to any of my like older live streams with Carrie and Duly Noted or anything like that, mine is Fireball. That's my weakness, my poison when I stream.
No, it's I really loved the Hangout we made before. That was like cool artificial intelligence and stuff. No, but I notice when I get too drunk, it's not really too drunk. Too drunk is when you go to a Polish Christmas. That's too drunk. Because they have this weird celebration where every 10 dishes they dish. Like they have 10, 12, whatever dishes. One of them is old bread put in juice, not juice, in broth, and like cooked for like days and days and days, and then put in the snow for days and days and days. I have no idea how they do it, but it's so weird. It's such a weird bitter taste because it's sourdough too. It's so weird of a taste. But every time you eat something there, every dish, there's like 10, 12 dishes depending on what kind of Christmas meal you have. You also have to drink. Like you drink a dish and you have to drink a stamppchle. How do you say that? You have to drink, I don't know, a glass of whiskey, glass of whatever, glass of vodka. Okay. And so after the 7th, 8th, you kind of start to really feel awkward. And by the 10th, you just don't really know anymore if you will remember the day after, So that is drunk. That, the situation here that I can still manage to tweet something out that I think is still, doable.
I don't know.
And also for all those kids out there who are below 18, drinking is bad because it will fuck up your brain. Once you're like 20, 25, drink as much as you want because who cares? You will die anyway. But until then, make sure you develop your brain.
Yeah, in your mid-20s, your brain stops forming and your skull stops forming.
Exactly. And then it doesn't matter anymore. Until to that point, try to do the best, try to get super smart, and then afterwards, whatever. Who cares?
I've been drinking since I was 16. I'm mostly okay.
16? Are you kidding me? Yeah, that's another thing about America. What's wrong with you guys? 18, 16. We were drinking when we were 12. It's legal. It was legal in Italy when you were 14. But you're drinking since you were 12. Because obviously you always drink 2 years earlier. It's so weird. It's like we have 4 years apart. I fucked up my brain 4 years longer than you did. You have done something wrong.
Promoting this? I don't know if I would want to do that. No, I don't get it. I mean, it seems to make more sense if you're just like, yeah, you can do it, and then we'll just try and be responsible and talk to you about it rather than, no, you can't do it, and we pretend it doesn't exist. I don't know.
The thing is, if you tell someone you can't do anything, they will do it. They will do it. Yeah. I have no idea how it works, but that's a very Italian thing. Where it's like, if you say to anyone they are not allowed to do anything, they will do it. They will do all of it. Every single. The more strict you are, the more they will break the rules. Like we had this girl. She was not allowed to go out after midnight. So Midnight, she went home, pretended to go to sleep, snuck out the window, through the shed, over the roof, down the balcony, down the other balcony, back to the pub, and came back 5 a.m. That's how efficient it was. Yeah.
No, I really wish I could drink at like at a club or at a bar when I turned like 18, because like I've been drinking since 16, but it's always been like
secret,
on the down low, right? Like
yeah.
you got to sneak those.
I have to say, from an Italian viewpoint, obviously, it was a good thing. Because we had this issue where we had a lot of how should I say this? How should I say this to not sound racist? We had a lot of people who just didn't stick to the rules. Okay, and you had a lot of 30-year-olds inside of a pub and a bar and whatever with 14-year-old girls and boys.
Oh no,
boys and girls, 14-year-old. Drunk as fuck. You can imagine how easy it is for a 30-year-old insert whatever to have, his fun with it.
Yeah.
No, it's bad. Like, I understand the regulation with pubs and stuff. The regulation is actually to the people's good. If you have no 14-year-old drunk person inside of your pub, a 14-year-old drunk person does not get abused in your pub. Chances are they might get abused somewhere else, but not in your pub. You are safe. You're good. You won't perpetuate that kind of, stuff. But, you have to think, and that's something I had a very long time to actually grasp my head around it, because it took so long to actually get out of the routine. When I was, 16, 17 years old, and I was reading in the paper, there was a woman who got raped from station A to station B for I don't know how many hours. My first reaction was, oh yeah, it was night. Obviously, she would have gone raped, It always happens. Poor woman. That's it. That was my reaction. It wasn't like this is not supposed to happen, or, this is, something odd, something weird, because it happened all the time. That was just normal. And the moment you realize that that is something that you consider normal, you kind of start to question where you grew up.
Yeah, that's not normal.
Wait, I think Steve wants to join.
Yes, I sent Steve a link,
Yeah.
so hopefully he'll join us.
If he starts talking about this whole atheism is not an atheism and agnosticism is the third option, I'm totally gonna just not talk to him anymore. Just say.
That's okay. I think I've given him the same warning.
Yeah, that's not the hangout we're talking about. Yeah, for Risky. Risky, say something. Something.
Jesus. Yes, I've had that conversation with Steve in the past.
Yeah. Okay, Risky, say something.
Risky, this is the Risky show. This is all you right now.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
We're counting on you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're waiting on Steve.
Steve's here, I think.
Yeah, he's just muted.
He's just muted at the moment.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you got to fill in the dead air until Steve starts talking.
It's Risky
I'm the one that got
has
us
so
in trouble
many.
in the first place.
Sorry. I totally interrupted
I
you.
don't know. So do you want to continue the sort of the tech ordeal, or did you want to take it in a new direction?
We could. Do you want to go for tech?
Whatever you guys want. I'm cool with tech. I do like, and I asked both of you, but I think Oni Ise answered. So I'll ask you, Shifty. Would you upload your brain onto a computer? Like, if that was a technological possibility, would that be something that you would ever be interested in doing?
Backup, or like what would the purpose be?
No, just like your brain, like your knowledge, your conscience, your thoughts.
Well, either as a backup, I guess backup would also work, but my thought usually is like when you're gonna die, like, hey, I'm gonna die in like 3 days or whatever,
Yeah.
So here goes my brain to live out the rest of its life on a computer somewhere.
I don't know. Like it seems it's tempting in the sense that like it's interesting in that you would sort of continue to live on and perhaps be immortal in a sense. And it's also interesting in that future generations or future family or loved ones or whatever would know what it's really like to sort of be you or be around you. But I kind of like, part of me is like has reservations because everybody has things that they keep to themselves or between you and a specific person. And so if it's just going to be like complete open access, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that.
Oh, it makes sense.
You could somehow like maintain the same type of access structure, then I'd probably be okay with it. So like, for example,
so like your brain is still no one else can access your brain because it's your brain, but you can interact with others.
No, so like, let's say anything I've said or done publicly, thought-wise, anyone can access. But like, if you and I had a private conversation, only you could access that.
Okay.
Something like that. That I would be okay with. Of course, I guess if I'm dead, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. That's weird.
You know, I think
I like the idea of backup though, just because like who knows? What if I get in some kind of crazy accident or something and have amnesia? Then I could like potentially have access to or even restore whatever was lost. I don't know.
No, that's true. How about you, Steve?
I think Steve has an issue with speech thingy. He's muted, I think, but I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
By AI.
No, he wrote in a message that he has issues.
Okay, so technology's already beating him up.
Yeah, technology. I'm
telling you, they're on us.
We have Bloggy with micro-blogganism.
Hello.
And hopefully Smelly will show up.
Yeah, he's there. Smelly is at work, so he has a bit of background noise.
Yeah, it's a lot of background noise, if I'm being honest.
You know, you can just push the button and like mute and unmute whenever you want to talk.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll mute while I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
So
me and Smelly was like we were like, oh, we haven't talked in a while, so we were having our own thing, and then we noticed that you were online and stuff. So we were like, oh, we're gonna join them and derail their hangout.
How much trabajo? Oh, Jesus, chill out. How much? Who is that? Who is talking right now?
Is that Steve? I think that might be Steve.
Yeah, Steve, you are completely possessed by the demons. Get out and get back in with a normal sound.
Yeah, I think the Google demons have possessed you, buddy.
I think it's Megatron.
Okay. So we have Microblogganism that you have to put into the chat. It's awesome. Microblogganism, subscribe to him. Rhetoric, subscribe to him. Risky, you totally have to subscribe to him because 18 is just super undersubscribed and he has a lot of brains. Smelly, totally subscribe to him because he made a video for me and he's awesome. Super awesome. And also subscribe to me because I'm awesome too.
Subscribe to everybody. All the links and stuff.
That's the second shout out I've gotten today.
Hey, if it goes on like this, you will totally surpass me in like 5 minutes. I have no idea if you surpassed me already, but I just pretend like I'm.
I don't think I have.
It's because logic, you know. If you have this kind of person who's like super famous and constantly is like, "Hey, subscribe to my girlfriend or subscribe to my wife," because like poor girlfriend, poor wife, then you always get subscriptions that you don't really deserve. See it like this. Every one of you has subscriptions you actually deserve. So shut up.
Well, I haven't actually released
testing.
In 5 months,
oh my God,
so that's subjective.
There we go. There's Steve.
Oh my God, technology. I give up. Google, I hate you, Google. I said it.
Don't say that. They will ban you. They will flag you.
They can't do any worse to me than they've already done. Let's
they can. They can take away your email address.
No, don't do that. Don't. That would be bad.
See, I told you they can. So you be nice.
They can make you spend eternity in a sandwich between Ronnie and G-Man.
Oh God,
that's a visual I really didn't need today. But thank you, Micro. Oh, by the way, I saw the shout out to you. Nice.
Yeah, I nearly shit my pants when I saw that. So that's.
Oh, why?
Oh, the living dinosaur shouted out Micro earlier.
Yeah.
Whoa, micro!
Yeah.
I've seen that. I've seen that micro. You're like so famous now. You better do good content now.
I literally like uploaded a video today that's available for patrons and will be available for everyone else tomorrow. So I'm gonna be riding that wave.
Nice.
It's the perfect timing.
Well, I decided to enroll back in college, so I haven't really had time to do much of anything.
Did I just hear bowling?
Yep,
It
sure
sounds
did.
like
That's him in college bowling.
Yep,
no,
yep.
he's at work.
No, this is my shitty menial job so that I can go to school.
Oh, okay.
But you're
Swear.
going to school. Lucky
That
you, lucky bastard.
Oh, lucky nothing. This shit is expensive.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Lucky bastard, you can afford it.
Hey, I got crazy lucky. Like, if it wasn't for my cousin who is an electrical engineer and worked for HP forever, I wouldn't even be in college. So, on the unlikely chance that he's listening to this, thank you, cuz I love you.
Yeah, HP cousin of Smelly, you're awesome, and also Smelly, you're a lucky bastard. There you go.
It's now a bad time to mention that fact that I literally get paid by the government to go to college.
Shush,
Micro,
you, shush, Muggy.
Micro, kiss my ass, you green motherfucker.
You know, there is YouTube University, right? You can just like watch videos and
Shush.
it's the easy way to
Socialism for the win.
Wait, is this?
Bad Bernie couldn't be president.
Okay, that's Rhetoric. You got a shout out before, so you better nice. You're better.
If so, fuck you.
Nice. No, I'm like
Wait,
looking at your chat, and I'm
Have
totally.
you met?
Oh, is Red here too? Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
Red is there too.
Oh my goodness, fine.
Yeah.
You want to come on, Red?
Red, come on. Red, come on and say
Alright.
thank you.
All right, Red. Give me a second.
He's
I
literally pimping his hangout on the third.
Wait,
Yeah.
Red's coming?
Red,
coming.
come on, Red,
Maybe.
come on. I totally subscribed to Red because of the hangout I had before with
Let me see here.
because Rixie, I have no idea that I
DM
wasn't
me a while
subscribed
back
to
with
him.
the word Red in their name, and I kind of forgot about it.
What?
But I didn't know.
Can you repeat that?
I heard mumble and then Reds and then mumble.
Red guy.
I'm still working on a flat earther for Reds. They're skittish. They're really
But
skittish.
They are. They don't even talk to me. They
Well, they don't like
you. Me.
Yeah, they don't like you very much.
They don't like me. They don't like me at all.
There's a flat earther in my chemistry class.
Legit.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. Like he's a wonderful person. But we were in class one day, and I don't know, my chemistry teacher said something that led to a person in my class making a flat earth joke. And I laughed at it, and he was like the only person that was looking around like, what?
I don't know if I want a flat earther mixing chemicals. Just saying.
Well, okay, so my chemistry class is a chemistry class for non-science majors because they had to like just put me in a class, and he's actually going to school to be a pastor.
Wait. Why are you going into a class just because you have to go into a class? What's wrong with you?
Oh, because my class, I'm going to school for my associates in science right now. So all my classes are geared around science major, like my major itself. So the chemistry class I was supposed to be put in was full. So they just put me in an equivalency class so that I could get the credit.
What the fuck?
Oh, I see.
We call them
Yeah,
the special classes when we were in college. Special.
Yeah, I think they call them, I think it's called like a REACH program. It's for like, it's stupid. But the point is that all my classes are geared around science majors except my chemistry class.
Okay.
So in other words, they
I
don't
know
let
we
you
were-
run anything really
Why
volatile, right?
don't you get chemistry for a chemistry class? What's wrong with your universities?
I guess the shorthand answer is I live in Texas.
They don't want you.
I
They
know.
don't want you mixing dangerous stuff. That's the simple.
They want me
In
to
Texas,
ride horses.
Texans, put Smell in a chemistry class, you bloody bastards.
well, he is in a chemistry class.
I'm just in a chemistry class for non-science majors.
Yeah. So it's like
I don't even know how that would work.
Yeah, it literally doesn't make sense, but
yeah, what chemistry for non-scientists? I mean, does that mean like the moles aren't really a mole? Or Avogadro's numbers changed? Or,
well, I think it's more. I think it's more. Okay, so like my biology class, for instance, the title of my biology class is Biology 1406 for science majors.
Ooh, that sounds impressive, actually.
I know it does, but really all it is it's just cursory beginner biology. It's your first year regular biology class.
So still more than what most creationists know.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Not most creationists, all creationists.
I'm trying not to generalize anymore, Micro. Come on.
Fuck that.
Well,
This is the case where it's okay to generalize.
Well, just in my conversation with Micro previously, my stepdad is a creationist, but he's one of the more reasonable ones.
That's not saying a whole lot, sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Details on that. I want to know what a reasonable creationist would entail.
Okay, so, from my perspective, he's a more reasonable version of a creationist. So, for instance, he can fathom ideas like in quantum mechanics. Like, he understands in a baseline that he doesn't have to understand it, that it just works, right? Sort of that, I hate to use this terminology, but he sort of takes it on faith because he can't personally do the math, right? So, for chemistry, biology, except for evolution, and physics and all that, it's like, oh yeah, that's all perfectly understandable. But monkeys or apes being a distant offshoot cousin of ours, oh, that's preposterous.
Well, we are apes.
Yeah.
That is
we're monkeys. Monkeys too.
You knew what the fuck I meant.
Yeah, but I have to make that correction because of my patent.
Hey, look, if we weren't pedantic, it wouldn't be us. I mean, I understand that idea.
Okay, can I put out something? Rixie, where are you from?
Let's see.
Rixie?
He has to remember where he's from.
That's a bit concerning.
Rixie, where is your accent from?
I have to remember a lot of things.
Wait, where you're from?
Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I had it written down somewhere.
That's some shit that an alien would say. It's like, I am a human person. I eat human food.
I am from Earth.
Hey, don't insult me. I know exactly how it feels like when you don't remember that you have to supposed to be human.
Hello, fellow humans. I too is happy.
Remember your reptilian training.
Hello, fellow humans. I'm a human just like you. Don't you see my human skin? And also, please be my friend.
Oh, what's it called? I don't know what it's called. There's an entire subreddit dedicated to people like pretending to be robots that talk robots that pretend to be humans.
But it's robots. Robots is not reptoids.
Yeah, I know, but like it's the same concept, and it's the same kind of weird ass conversations. It annoys me. I can't remember what it's called.
There's probably a subreddit for just about everything.
That's true.
It's a weird subreddit though.
You know, subreddit is kind of fun.
Reddit is sort of it's either complete shit or it's like, oh, you find this community with like a lot of awesome people who like are interested in all the same things you are, and it's really awesome, or it's complete shit.
Not really a middle ground.
Both, you know, it can be both. It can be super awesome shit.
Reddit is one extreme or the other.
Yeah.
So has anyone noticed that Shifty has entirely avoided answering the question? Like a
we
Reploid
have
would?
noticed this, yeah. Conspicuously so.
It's probably because it's a moon accent.
Shush.
Maybe his alien overlords didn't give him a full dossier of his background.
I knew it.
Incomplete information?
Yeah, we can hear you.
He didn't read the dossier.
Yeah.
I bet he's a moon Jew.
Like,
oh my god, he's a moon Jew. Moon Jews.
Oh god, it's George Soros.
So answer the question: where are you from? Where's this accent from?
Listen here, Rixie. If you don't tell us where you're from, I'm gonna send Bilderberg's coming after you.
It's the good old Alex Jones accent.
He doesn't want to give up that info, clearly.
Alex Jones here for Male Vitality Plus. My dick is rock hard all the time.
That's pretty good, actually.
I remember, Smelly is currently at work, so no one else can hear what he's saying.
One of my coworkers came back here a little while ago and was like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, I just looked at him. I was like, "No," and he just walked away.
I really, so like upcoming Halloween, I really want to go as Alex Jones. Like I'm seriously considering it.
If you do that, can you please buy like a frog plushie or something?
Oh, you gotta get
a little LGBT flag or something like that.
Dude, let's make that a thing. Alex Jones cosplay.
So step one.
I think there's a subreddit for that too, actually. If not, I'm gonna start one right now.
Step one in making your Alex Jones cosplay is to get one of those sumo wrestler like inflatable things. That's step one. Then you have to get throat cancer.
Sumo wrestler what?
You know, like those big sumo wrestling bodysuit things.
Yeah, the bodysuits.
It's like where they make you fat even though you're not.
Who was it? I can't remember who
And
it was.
then you have to get throat cancer.
Then you need to smoke 6 packs of cigarettes a day. Male Vitality Plus, cigarettes, colloidal silver, Bilderberg. That's your Alex Jones starter.
Say they're turning the frog's gate green once.
They're turning the frogs gay. I wish I could cry and still sound like him and do that like America is dying speech, like we're all being we're all succumbing to Satan or whatever he did. I still watch Alex Jones just to it's like a madman Mad Lib. Every day is something crazier and more erroneous than the day before.
At one point, Alex Jones did a story about how the light bulbs were flickering at a certain rate to hypnotize you.
Oh my god!
I watch Alex.
You might as well have told me that my washing machine was planning to eat me.
I just think it's. Alex Jones is one of those people that are so extreme that you can watch without getting mad. They're just so out there, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like watching a child play. Watching Alex Jones pontificate is like watching a child play. You know that at any certain moment, they're going to do something so bad that they're going to hurt themselves. But with Alex Jones, he's going to say something so stupid that it's going to give you fucking whiplash.
I can't remember who it was. It was somebody. I was talking to somebody, and they were saying that they've actually hung out with him at a party, and he's actually like a really fun dude to party with.
See, I've met him. I don't live too far from where he does, but I used to live closer to him.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. And we actually met Alex Jones one time, and it was at one of his little rallies or whatever. But when he wasn't screaming dumb shit into a megaphone, he was
without a shirt on.
Yeah, right. Showing before and after pictures that clearly show that he's fatter than before. He was actually kind of a nice guy. Like, I know that we all want to sit there and be like, well, you know, be it an act or not.
A lot of it is an act. Not all of it, but a lot of it is.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
He's an entertainer.
Well,
I mean, he does cross the line with the whole Sandy Hook type thing. That's beyond the pale.
Yeah, that shit
I mean, if he just stuck to stupid shit, then that'd be fine, right? Gay frogs. Okay, great. Well, we're all indoctrinated, by following Satan. Okay, fine, whatever.
We're all following Saul Alinsky, a guy that's been dead for almost 30 years.
I mean, that doesn't mean you can't follow him. It just means that it's a very boring thing to follow him because you're just standing in a graveyard.
Yeah, not
all the
exactly
time.
my idea of a good time.
Just standing there, looking at a gravestone, Nothing happens. He doesn't go anywhere. He just lies there. Real like worst vacation ever.
I spent money on this. Fuck.
Did you see that picture of him that he tweeted out with it like for a cookout the other day? He's like holding that tray of all that meat.
No, but I want to see this so bad. I want to see that. Okay, I'm going to Google to find the cookout picture.
Yeah, someone, I can't remember, it wasn't him because I don't like follow him on Twitter, but someone retweeted it. And it's him just holding, like it's in his kitchen, and he's just holding this giant tray of like all this different kinds of meat. And it looks cool. It's like, this dude's about to have some serious fun.
The weirdest thing is that oh no, we lost Smelly.
Smelly, come back.
His internet connection isn't exactly stable.
Alex Jones got wind he was being mocked. This is what happened.
The weirdest thing is that Alex Jones used to be a bodybuilder.
Oh,
like,
really?
Actually used it to be in like sort of decent shape.
Seriously?
There are pictures online.
I just don't watch him. The only time I thought he was interesting, remember when he went on that thing with Chank from the Young Turks, and he was like, you know, talking about something, and just set him off, and it got like way out of control really quickly.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
But that was more like TYT problem than his problem, because he just kind of
was at the convention.
Yeah.
I found that to be entertaining because that was totally unscripted.
Yeah, and it was hilarious to me just because, like, you could tell that he was like totally just like in a kind of jolly mood, just messing with them, but like not in a mean or serious way. And they like flipped their shit, so it was like, that did not look good on you.
No, actually, Alex looked. He was actually coming out okay on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so we have the real before and after. Well, in this case, after and before. The one Smelly posted is all the meat thing, and the one I posted is a picture of young Alex Jones when he was a bodybuilder.
I want to see meat.
The meat photo is actually pretty funny. It's all raw.
Good.
Okay, guys, have you all
picture,
tweeted out the thingy? Have you all tweeted out the Hangout? Has any of you tweeted out the Hangout?
I haven't.
No,
but I
don't think so.
No, if you tweet it out, you know, tag me or something. Make like, is it original? Because otherwise I can't like retweet it.
Sure.
But you follow.
Lazy bums.
You're following me.
Yeah,
I'm
just
drunk.
because I'm following you. Do you remember
I think that
how
describes
many
like
people I'm
people in
following you? I'm following fucking crazy people. I'm following people who say slavery is good. What do you expect of me?
I don't know what I'm expecting from you. I was
I
honestly
want
expecting
you
better
to
than
tag
that.
me so I can retweet that shit, because I won't retweet shit like, you know, slavery is good, because those are fucking
Wait, okay, you know you can read things before you retweet them.
But not when I'm drunk, man.
You make it sound like if you're not tagged, you will like we don't tag you, you will accidentally retweet someone to promote slavery.
No, but the thing is, like, I have so many tweets that even if you tag if you don't tag me, I will just, you know, not necessarily even see it, because it will just pass by, because there are so many people who tweet nonsense. And so I want you to tag me so I won't miss it.
Oh yeah. Okay, I found the picture of him holding that food.
Okay, Smelly already posted it.
Okay, I didn't see it.
So, Isaac, if you look in the chat, I posted a picture of him.
Yeah, there he is.
Of young Alex Jones when he was a bodybuilder with his shirt off and he's
What
sweaty.
the fuck? What happened to him? What happened to him?
He stopped being a bodybuilder and hit middle age.
No.
And
like
also
he
ate
got-
a bunch of
he got,
zebra
like,
steaks.
Bodybuilding was the
Gotcha.
only thing he had. He was a dumb fuck with a body, and now he's a dumb fuck without a body.
I just tweeted that we're talking about meats, and people come in, we can talk about their meat. So
I don't have meat.
anybody can take it any way they want. Well, you're just a thing of Jello, of course you don't. But
Yeah, I have jelly meat.
Jelly.
Oh no, we have 2 smellies.
That's the worst kind of smelly.
How do we have smell? How do we...
Smelly,
Smelly, why are you
multiplying
double?
like that is my job.
Stop cloning yourself, Smelly.
I'm ruining science. Sorry, guys.
Apparently, bears reproduce by cloning. Budding?
Well, yeah,
You bud?
Bears are well known for. Bears are the only mammal who naturally reproduce asexually.
What?
That's so dumb.
Yes, it is. That's why I said it.
It's so good. It's so good. It's sexual. It's seductive and productive.
So suck the productive.
I don't know, man. I hardly know shit. Like I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy that does stuff.
I think that applies to everyone here, but what's
going on here? What did I miss? I'm not sober. I cannot follow you all. You're talking too fast. You're too American. Stop it.
Did you see the
Wait, did you just say somebody else is talking fast?
I'm not American.
Let's think about this.
Did you just accuse me of being American?
The reason you think I'm talking fast, I can't even talk fast. Do you know how long it takes to roll the R? Listen to it. It takes ages. How can you tell me I'm talking fast?
Wait.
I figure as long as I can understand every 3 words, I'm okay. That's the rule of thumb.
I can totally pretend like I can actually.
So how many people have in here now? 7? 6?
10? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. I'm in the wrong chat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 only. We need more. Not really, but still.
We'll try to fill it out. I'm asking Godless Cranium if he wants to come in here.
No, Godless Cranium is like a serious person and he has like intelligence and stuff, and I just don't, and I just don't want to compete with him.
This is gonna be too much for him.
Are you saying that? Everyone else is dumb?
No, but you can at least pretend to be stupid.
He doesn't want to talk about his meat. I want to talk about his meat.
Talk about meat.
Well, if he's a cranium, he doesn't have any meat.
Cranium has meat. He's just very bony.
I'm looking at that
it.
tweet that Alex sent out with that picture. Did you see the caption of it?
No.
It said celebrating Americana with some red meat, and red meat is like capitalized for some reason.
No, it's not for some reason. It's because it's Alex Jones.
Okay. I don't want to.
But hold on, and then it says comma F.U. Obama.
What?
What?
Yeah, again, it's Alex Jones.
But like, sorry, but capitalizing things is not necessarily his fault.
If I were Obama, I would follow Alex Jones on Twitter just to troll him.
Would you seriously? Does Obama have better things to do?
No, that would be Trump. Trump would be doing that.
Yeah.
You imagine Trump and Alex is going out like a Twitter war.
Trump
awesome.
would retweet him.
I would love that.
I want to see that now.
You know, because Trump actually probably thinks everything he says is like legit, right? So if Trump's going to go off into anything that Alex Jones says, so that'd be like the awesomest Twitter war.
What I kind of want to happen is that like when Twitter gives everyone the 280 characters character limit, I want them to give them to everyone except Donald Trump.
I thought that the other day. I'm like, that dude.
You know, that's so bad though, because like Donald Trump, if you really think about it, he's dumb, but he's not
You can
the
actually
dumbest of the
override
dumb.
that, by the way. Like right now, you can.
Okay.
No, but I
Hello?
can't imagine a president doing policy over Twitter.
Why
Never in my
not?
wildest-
Come on, it's fun. It's
pretty
the
dangerous.
internet.
It's all fun and games until the nukes start falling.
Yeah, okay, but like take the
It's just a
fingers
prank,
off
bro.
The button. Yeah, it's just.
I'm in Cali,
take
so
the
I'm like
fingers off the button and just go
You're
on,
in
man.
range.
It's fun.
Exactly. You know, we're already doing the nuclear drills here. You know.
It's just a prank. It's just a nuclear experiment.
I just can't see either North Korea nor Trump
Well,
really
I
going
live
nuclear.
fairly
'Cause
close
they're
to
just-
a very.
Both of them are insane. So yeah, they could.
I don't know if they could reach it, but it would not be a good idea. And it would
Yeah.
definitely be on
One
their
of these
list.
days, it's gonna be like, I'm declaring war on North Korea, winky face, and the rest of the world's not gonna know what to do with it.
You know.
Well, you know, actually, it's funny. We're actually at war with them. Believe it or not, we never stopped the war, the Korean War. We just had so.
Yeah,
we
Wait.
Ceasefire.
Hey.
Yeah. So I guess that means they don't have to declare it.
Is US
fuck it.
still
Launch.
at war with North Korea? Did I understand that right?
Yes.
Yes.
We're technically at war with North Korea. We've never.
Yeah, it's technically only a truce right now.
It was armistice. Yeah, it was not a actual declaration of peace.
Yeah, you only at peace with South Korea, not North Korea.
Right.
Aha. So basically,
We also have a dead president.
Korea and
There's
you just
that
don't
weirdness
even do it.
going on.
Like, hey, we're at war with North Korea, but you know what? We're not really wanting to go to North Korea because they're all fucking crazy people. Let's just pretend they don't exist. And also, we have a crazy
China is not happy
president,
about
so
that.
let's pretend he doesn't exist and they don't exist. So maybe our world is okay.
Well, that's all. Is that also why the whole zone can be kept, the demilitarized zone, because there's technically still a war going on.
Mm-hmm. That's why they have.
Yeah, I just want to be sure because I think that's they have to act in order to keep that zone. There's some political thing where in order to have that zone, they need to have the war or something. I seem to remember reading something about that. Don't quote me on this. I'm probably wrong.
No, I mean that makes
This
sense.
is if you guys know who Neeb is, this is kind of his wheelhouse is North Korea.
So how's everyone's day going?
I'm hungover.
I'm hungover too, and
I'm
I'm hungover,
drunk.
and then I started this, so I had to get a beer.
I'm
so-
halfway there.
Yeah, get a bit. Everyone who's like, am I the only person who's drunk here?
No, I'm drunk.
Good. At least one.
I've been
Yeah, no,
drinking-
I-
I've been
Everyone else, you have to keep up, guys. I finished half of my whiskey. No, it's not whiskey. It's cognac. I finished half of my cognac bottle. How far are you guys?
I had rum.
How much?
That's beer.
I literally finished off about 80% of the bottle.
Good.
I drank a
Well,
bunch
let me
of Monster.
say-
Well, it was rum and Coke night, so I had to drink rum and Coke. Diet Coke.
Oh shit! Diet Coke.
Diet Coke. 0 calories. I don't know how much calories are in the rum though. Probably a lot.
Wait.
There's a lot of calories in alcohol,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of sugar
Yeah.
in.
Well, the sugar's
most
killing
of
me
those.
right now. Because that hangover, I wake up with that nasty sugary hangover. Ugh.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh well. It was still fun. It was worth it.
What is
I've just been
this, a
watching-
L'Oreal commercial?
I've just been watching Cowboy Bebop all day. I feel like I really missed the mark on that one.
I don't know. Cowboy Bebop's worth a whole day.
Oh, dude, I don't know. The other day I was like, holy shit, I really want to watch Trigun. And then I did. And then I was like, holy fuck, there's like a whole bunch of other animes that I actually like. So I've been just kind of watching all those.
Okay, according to Finner 3000 in the chat, rum has 2,300 calories per liter.
Damn, that's a ton of calories, man.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So this was 750 milliliter, I think, that I got.
How much does brandy have?
Let's see.
So if I drink full on brandy, can I not eat because
So I
I
drank
have enough
1,000
calories?
calories. Well, there goes my diet.
And why on earth are there people measuring stuff per gallon? What's wrong with you guys?
Shit, I mean, start drinking whiskey by the gallon.
you have that's when you know you have a serious drinking problem.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be functional to even know how to use a computer if you're drinking by the gallon.
But I'm sorry, but in the chat we have someone saying 8,000 calories per gallon.
I don't
that
know.
means
That's
that
pushing
people
it.
actually. But you do have gallons though. You have gallons for like gasoline and stuff.
Yeah, but most of the time you don't want to. If you have to buy whiskey by the gallon,
brandy has the same amount of calories as rum.
Okay.
You're counting calories instead of toxicity.
Who cares about toxicity? It's all about the calories. You want to be slim. You don't really want to be smart. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what proof is your cognac though?
I can't help it. I'm both.
But that's your fault. It's your own fault that you're smart. Stop being smart and drink more. Jesus.
Who's saying Mike was smart? Since when?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Compared to you guys, I'm the dumbest person in the room, and I insist on it.
I think that's just internalized misogyny right there.
It could be.
No, there's privilege to it. If you're a dumb person, you have always the privilege of people telling you, "Oh, she's just dumb. She can't do anything about it," and you get away with everything.
So is this like an intelligence gap? Is there like an intelligence gap for what you're trying to say?
No, it's like if you're a dumb woman,
That was
you can do
that came
everything
through as like
and no
robot
one will
noise. I'm
piss
not
you
sure
off
what was said
about
there.
it. It's like genius. It's like power, and people don't understand it. When people think you're stupid, you can get away with so much more.
So you're saying smart chicks that act stupid? That's empowerment.
Yes.
You know, I'm going to give you that one. Actually, I think there's something to be said for that.
That is well, yeah.
Does seem to be like a way to take advantage of things.
I still get an answer. How much percentage alcohol is your cognac? What proof is that?
Oh yeah, that actually matters.
This was mine. That really matters because this was 80 proof that I had, so 40%.
Let me see, because reading and stuff. Right?
Okay, can we just
I'm
do
in the middle of the
percentages? Why?
Yeah,
like stop with the proof.
Let's ask the chemist in the room. So why can't you have 200 proof? There's a reason, actually.
Because it will evaporate.
It says 43%. I have no idea what it means.
So it's 86% proof.
Just stop. If you have it in percent, just double it, and you will get it in proof.
Okay.
Yeah. So if it's 100% alcohol,
you can't have that. Yeah.
You can't distill it that way because it's a mixture.
But it says 43 though, not 100. What the fuck?
No. You can't have 100.
Okay, so basically, wait. No. Guys, you're too fast. I'm not that smart. Chill out. Take it easy.
Plus that whole dying thing.
So,
I don't know.
you have 100% of alcohol when? How much do you have to drink to have 100%
To me, that
alcohol?
sounds like the alcohol equivalent of fentanyl.
Okay.
How much alcohol do you have to what?
Yeah, how much alcohol do you have to have what? What's going on here? What's wrong with the 43%?
Okay, the point is you can't have like something that's 100, like you can't have pure alcohol in a bottle.
Yeah.
They do make it for industrial purposes, but
no. Well, in that case, it's not. Well,
but it's unopened, and once you open it, it changes because it will actually take water.
Also, when you get to those that high, it's usually denaturated, so you can't drink it.
Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying. You can't have.
Okay, but why did you double it? Why did you say, I don't know, why did you get from 40, what was it, 43 to
you take
86?
The percentage and you double it to get your proof. So if you have
proof is
40% alcohol, it's 80 proof.
Yeah. Wait, proof of what? Define proof.
No, not it's not proof. It's a measure of the amount of alcohol in something.
Measure of spirits. Okay. Wait, let's freak her out. It's a measure of spirits.
That is true.
It's true. It's a measure of spirits.
It's proof. It's proof of
spirits are real.
So it's proof of spirits.
You guys are too technical. Take it easy. You have to, use like easy language. It's like, how much alcohol am I allowed to drink if it has 43% without completely getting nuts?
When you black out, you're done.
That's so much more easy to understand, right?
Okay, if you want to understand, so that's gonna depend on how big you are, how fast you drink it, and on your genetics, and on how much you're used to drinking.
So in other words, three more. I'm drunk. I'm not even drinking. 3 more sips. 3 sheets to win, right?
I think that sounds like a question for poisoning the well. I think those guys would know the answer to this one.
They have to, because they have to walk the line between getting drunk and not dying.
It is a fine line.
They're funny.
I mastered that in the Navy, though. I'll tell you that right now.
We have a lot of space here in hell. It's super warm. It's super fancy. If you die, it doesn't matter.
If you die, you're not far
going
from a
to
good
hell.
place.
I'm going to my own special place. That's neither hell or heaven. I booked that thing.
Do Jellos have their own hell?
No, we have our own special place that isn't neither hell or heaven. We have like it's called the Gummy Bear Factory.
It's called Bill Cosby's bedroom.
Oh
That
no.
too.
Because of the Jell-O and the pudding.
Uh-huh.
Michael got a nice pudding pop.
I mean, I do go good together with roofies. I'm just saying.
Get a nice roofie colada.
A nice roofie Jello shot.
And this is how this video gets age restricted right there.
But really,
Yeah,
I'm pretty
you
sure.
have no hope of ever having a video monetized ever again. Anyway,
That's true.
this is not advertiser friendly.
Yeah,
You know,
demonetized, man.
No, I have the most innocuous videos demonetized. The most innocuous ones. The Rachel Oates one got demonetized. She's like the most, like, you know, what do you call it? I don't want to say simple. She's just like down to earth, right? I mean, what is there egregious about Rachel Oates, for God's sake?
I got a community strike for a guest video.
Oh no. Oh,
How
that's
did you get a
awful.
community strike?
Like, yeah, I don't know. It's like the main reason I didn't make videos for a long time is because I was like, fuck this community strike. I'm just waiting until it's over. Because, you know, people just flag shit for no reason and Google doesn't check. And so I ended up with the community strike. I mean, you know me. I'm Logic's wife. You know how bad Logic is. I'm half him. And yet I get the fucking community strike and he's fine. What's wrong with you people?
Did they say the reason? though?
Because no, they didn't
They
say
never
shit.
do.
It's, you know, but
It's
I tell
obvious.
you, it's because I just speak out about stuff in a very weird manner. Because like most of the time when I get the stuff flagged, when I get like, you know, the yellow whatever dollar sign, it's because I say cunt and it sounds like cunt. No,
Well,
this
that's what I'm wondering.
discriminatory. It's
that's what I'm wondering.
discriminatory. If I say cannot, it's wrong English. But if I say can't, everyone thinks I'm swearing. What's wrong with you?
I'm wondering if the translator program just thinks that you're saying a bunch of shit that you're not actually saying, and that's what.
You know, have you ever seen the fucking transcripts? I had someone starting to script shit down because the fucking transcripts tell shit about me. All the time they say nonsense.
I wonder if there's
It's
like
I'm
a
swearing like 5 times
some
more
kind of
just
acceptable
because of the
level of volume for
transcript.
like a background sound or music or whatever that would throw it off the algorithm.
No, it's
sure,
because
there's a
you have to say the things in a weird manner. If you say can't, it doesn't work. If you say kunt, everything works.
Or you're a cunt. That'll do it too. Hey, how did Paulogia find us over here? I'm just out of curiosity. How did Paulogia find us? Hi, Paul.
Paul is here.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to join us? You can.
Yeah.
This is kind of like the ass end of the internet over here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll take anybody at this point.
Clearly.
No, but like you have to bring the intellectual level a bit up here. Okay.
All right. So is Paul in the chat? Is that where I'm looking for him?
He's in the live chat.
Apologies in live
Alright.
chat.
Oh,
All
from
right. I'm
Twitter.
gonna send you a Twitter thing.
Yeah.
Oh, he actually reads Twitter. Oh.
Spooky Twitter.
Dude, you got like everyone in the Hangout. Like, how many people are actually watching you? It's like everyone who's watching you is in the Hangout pretty much.
Yeah.
No,
That's a really good point.
14 people watching.
I don't know. I didn't watch. Like, I have it open. I have it open and I check it, but it's like half of them are pretty much in the chat.
And
We'll get Paul in here.
Oh, they're following you.
Paul will bring in the big views.
No, Bullionator said that's how I found you here too, Steve. So I guess they're following us over from Twitter.
Spooky.
Or that
I don't usually do this too.
I think they want to talk about our meats.
Meats?
Oh yeah, we were.
Okay, well, what is this whole thing about meats? Like, I know
Okay, we've
but I never
already
said
established I
know
don't
about
have
meat.
those.
Because we like our meat.
Meat.
I like my meat.
Problem
Here's
why?
you like your meat?
Oi,
Collective-
Oscar would completely
we like our
disagree
meat.
with you because meat is like so not vegan.
Yeah, I'm not a vegan.
Yeah, neither am I.
Is it collected?
Yeah, me neither.
Every time I
gotta have
try,
my meat.
every time I try, I completely go anemic and I completely go crazy, and I have to start eat meat again. I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, no, we're
That might
definitely
be great
omnivores.
parasites.
We're meant to eat meat and non-meat. So I don't think this vegan
We
lifestyle
aren't meant
actually
to
works.
eat any. Well, technically, we aren't meant to eat anything because
You know,
meat implies that there's a purpose.
But I have to
some
play the
higher
devil's
thing that
advocate here a bit, guys, because it makes sense that you don't necessarily want, animal suffering and shit like that, because animals are sentient beings up to a certain degree. So you don't really want to, like,
I don't eat dumb animals though.
Plants are sentient technically.
Yeah, well, but the
They
thing
react to
is,
the
you know,
environment.
They
you
probably
always absolutely. But have you read about the thingy where they started to grow meat in like petri dishes?
Yeah.
like
If
Yeah.
they grow meat
Grow
in
meat,
petri dishes, I'm the first to go for it, because it's like,
I would
fuck
try
you
it.
all vegans, because I'm gonna eat my fucking meat and you still won't get any of it because I'm still eating meat and you're vegans and you can't eat it because you're vegans, and yet at the same time I'm not killing your bloody cows, and there you go.
But see, there's people that are ethical vegans, right? They're ethical vegans that say, I'm not going to eat meat because of obviously suffering of animals. If they grew meat in a petri dish, their ethical concerns are abated, right?
Yeah, exactly.
For most of them, that most vegans I know would be, I would eat that. There's nothing dying.
Right.
Yeah.
There
No,
are
but,
a few crazy ones that will say
No,
things
but
like,
there are
no, the meat remembers the cruelty.
Okay, no, but like there is this thing where like the people say like, yeah, but it's so much more healthy if you just eat vegan and stuff. And if you really think about it, you have to eat tons and tons of cauliflower to actually get the calories to get in if you eat like a proper steak with like a bit of grease on it, It takes you much more. So obviously, if you really want skin and bones,
cauliflower is a bad example.
Well, let's Paul. Hey, Paul, would you eat my meat?
Of course, Steve.
I know.
Thing is, at the end of the day, the discussion is not really about whether eating meat or not, but how to make it such that you are fine with eating whatever you want to eat, and the animals are fine because you don't necessarily have to sit there and stay and get killed and suffer for ages and ages. I mean, there is the middle ground there.
I'm so not picky. My only rule of thumb is I don't eat anything that once kind of crawled on the ground. It has like 6 or 8 legs. Anything like that, I kind of tend to avoid.
So lobster is out of the picture.
That's not a ground. That's in the ocean.
It crawls on the seafloor.
Seafloor, yeah. Well,
that's ground.
Yeah, no, I eat lobster.
You are so lucky because I can't eat fish at all. No fish, no seafood, no anything, because it just like kills me basically. It swells my mouth and everything.
You're allergic.
And it's like and I've tried it because I really love sushi, but unless it's like a very specific, way of doing the tuna and only tuna, that I can actually eat it. And all the other times, I just basically stop breathing properly.
Oh,
well, Isaac, that can count for you when if God is real and there's a judgment day, you can at least say, well, I may have been friends with gay people, but I didn't eat the shrimp that you didn't want me to eat.
Yeah, pretty much.
No fish are taboo.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
What always wonder. The thing I always wonder about that rule is that rule was written while they were wandering in the desert. How many shrimp did they find in the desert?
Lobster, yeah. I mean, who was the first person to look at a lobster and go, God, that thing's ugly as hell. I'm going to try eating it. I don't know about that.
I'm pretty sure when you're hungry, you're just shoving everything into your mouth that you find.
Well, you've got to cook. Obviously, lobster needs to be boiled. They had to figure out how to make it properly. You can't just like eat a lobster if you don't cook it.
I'm sorry, but they eat raw fish everywhere, and they eat rotten fish too. I mean, nowadays they eat rotten fish.
And nowadays they're eating that for hundreds of years.
No, but just saying, like, they still eat it.
Isn't Worcestershire sauce made out of fermented fish? Like, isn't that a thing?
Exactly.
If you really want to go with fermented fish, you have to go to either Norway or Sweden and eat either
lutefisk
or surströmming.
Yeah,
surströmming is probably the worst. That's zombie herring in a can.
Dude.
I don't know, dude. I've had both, and neither one are that bad. I mean, they're both okay.
Wait, you have had surströmming. I've heard it tastes all right, but it smells like shit.
Okay,
both of them. stink like shit. Both of them do.
I
Yeah.
just choose to believe that fish and like sea animals and shit just taste super ugly, because since I can't eat them, I can't know otherwise, and they stink, and therefore I just choose to believe that they're like super ugly, so at least I don't like miss out on anything.
Here's a good one. There's an Icelandic thing where I think it's like, yeah, it's Icelandic where you catch a shark, and then you bury it, and then it ferments in its own urine. And then you leave it over the winter, and then you take it up, and then you put it into cut it into like dice, like cubes, and then eat it.
Isn't that what the Japanese do?
No, that's an Icelandic dish.
Oh, no, but the Japanese do something like that as well. They have like fish that they ferment, and they put it in a box, and they bury it and shit, and like they keep it for I don't know how long, and then they undig it, and then they eat it.
Well, originally sushi was actually you didn't eat the rice. The rice was just there to keep the fish.
I see.
And then they would grow sour. It would go sour from the lactic acid in it, and then someone developed the taste for it. That's why if you eat sushi today, they will put vinegar on the rice to mimic that.
Yeah.
I'll pass.
I
like my sashimi. Just
can't.
It's so weird
That's
because
the other weird thing, that like sushi isn't actually the name of the fish. It's the name of the rice.
Right.
Yeah.
Sashimi is the name of the cut.
Yeah, the sashimi is that's cut fish.
Yeah. No, but like, you know what? The thing is, there are so many dishes that in certain cultures you would totally eat right away, and in other cultures you would never ever eat. And whenever I'm like, exposed to one weird dish from one culture, and then I expose it to another culture that has just such a creepy dish, but in another way, they're like, oh, that's so ugly. And then you expose their, weird dish, and they're like, no, that's like so tasty. It's like such a different thing. And it's like, no, it's the same ugly shit.
Well, like in like our lands, we have this thing called double from a place called In-N-Out Burger, animal style. It is the amazing cuisine of the planet. And Canadians don't have that, so they don't appreciate that.
No, Canadians think that double is coffee.
Or something that you buy at Tim Hortons.
You've never had an In-N-Out, have you?
Coffee.
No, Steve, I lived in California. In-N-Out Burger is the best.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You were up north at one time.
Yep.
Yeah. In-N-Out is the best. I do love In-N-Out.
Yeah, it's my favorite. Whenever I go back, that's where I make sure.
God, there's nothing like a good animal style.
Except they have Bible verses on the bottom of the cups, but
yeah, well,
I like Chick-fil-A. You suffer through it just for the food.
I tried Chick-fil-A for the first time when I went to the Stupid Creation Museum.
That's kind of weird.
I didn't know what Chick-fil-A was until that whole fiasco a few years back.
Dude, I love Chick-fil-A. There's like thousands of them here.
Well, you are in Texas.
Yeah.
Fair enough, I suppose.
Tried it in Atlanta. It's like
Now I'm so hungry.
What's the other one? Oh man.
My hangover is abated. Now I'm just in that craving, like sugar mode.
So I used to live in Chicago, and we all had like a huge thing for White Castle. And there was about at least 10 of us. It varied, but it was always at least 10. And we'd get together specifically every Saturday just to go to White Castle. And we would just binge. We ended up calling it White Power Saturdays.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys, I'm completely going on an off topic here, but I just noticed something.
What's up?
Rixie has 18 subs. Who of you is not subscribed to Rixie?
Yeah, you bastards.
You go over and you subscribe to him, because otherwise you will hear the wrath of the top hat.
Is there any way you can put your channel chat so I can have that?
Put the channel in the chat. Put the channel. Who's that? Rhetoric. Put the channel in the chat.
There you go.
Because Rhetoric is awesome. Because Rhetoric is awesome because he totally followed me and he started this chat and he's awesome. So also subscribe to Rhetoric if you follow him. Subscribe.
Yeah, I'm subscribed to
847. What's wrong with you guys? 847. Who's not subscribed to him? because I'm subscribed to
I'm
him, and
not
I even
subscribed
have
to
the
Risky,
bell on.
but if you put the
I'm
link in-
taking a screenshot. Jesus.
It's risky. If you put the link in the group chat, I'll subscribe to you. But
Yeah, let me pull it
right
up.
now, I'm subscribed to.
Shifty has the link in the. Shifty has the link in. He put it.
If you
I'll subscribe to Shifty, and I don't want any exception, and I want to see that Shifty has a following that's bigger than it was. Jesus, what's wrong with you guys?
if you
Yeah.
go to my Twitter, because I followed
You're
about
shaming the poor people.
the link is
You know, it's so funny. It's so funny to shame people into following people, but it's so convenient because there's so much good content and people really do good stuff, and you don't know them because they have 18 subs. Now you go follow this guy and make sure that you follow him and make sure that he makes good content, because you have to like threaten him a bit and shit. You know?
so
guys, I'm gonna head out. I'm falling asleep here. So
Wait, where are you from? Rixie, where are you from? At
United
least the country.
yeah, US.
Yes. So it's like 7 or 8 or 9 or something.
well, here it's 3 in the morning.
Yikes.
Lucky. Okay, I have to go as well. But like that's because I'm drunk and not because I'm sleepy. And also like
I'm both.
and
So-
and yeah, have fun. Bye Rixie. And also subscribe to him. And also I'm pretty sure now, like with all those people.
Are you confused? I think you're confusing me with him.
Wait, who's you?
Me would be
Wonderful. That's
Micro.
beautiful.
Oh, Micro! It's obviously Micro.
Oh,
Yeah, it must be
God.
actually the... Sorry about that.
Just pick somebody at random. Just go sub to.
Yeah, no, Micro. You have to sub to Micro because he's awesome, and also you got like a shout out today, so fuck you. Because
I got a shout out first from the Living Down Store, and then Paul got the next shout out. Micro was third.
You bastard! You got the deserved shout out.
But just why FYI, Michael was third, by the Living Dinosaur. He shouted out me. Then I think Paul, didn't you get a shout out from the Living Dinosaur?
Wait.
The Living Dinosaur shouted out a bunch of
Don't
people.
take away from the bubble because
you don't
Micro is
understand.
so much
Micro
more
blogger-
awesome because he's a bubble.
Micro Blogger has a big jello head. If you don't keep him level,
I'm
Don't
pretty
you
much
see?
all
He's
head.
have to
like
keep him
80% brain and 20% jello.
it's mostly water.
Yeah. And subscribe to
Anyways,
him because
see
he
ya,
has
guys.
like a pacifier.
Bye, Micro.
Bye, Micro.
Oh, damn it. He left before I could say goodbye. I'm having internet issues.
Yeah, shame on you. You should have said goodbye earlier. Anyway, I
I'm
need to go because A, I'm drunk and I shouldn't speak if I'm drunk because I'm saying shitty stuff. And B, you're all awesome. Shush you. You're all awesome and everyone should subscribe to you, and that's it. And I have to go. I'm so sorry.
Bye, Ethan.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, shit. And then there was 5.
I don't even know where I am right now.
I don't know. This is like
So-
the ass end of the internet that we just kind of fell into here.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. I just typed in, I was hoping that I would get Shifty's thing from just typing in his name, and then all it showed up with was that asshole from Crazy Town. Please tell me I'm not the only one who knows what Crazy Town is.
What that is?
That shitty band from the 90s that thought they were Limp Bizkit.
Oh God, yeah, that was a come and go type band.
Yeah, thank God they sucked.
So Paul, I hear you have kind of a contest going on.
I do. Vice Rhino has been
He-
slapping me in the face over and over again. Because
Totally.
we're both at about 9,100 subs, or we were on the weekend. So
He
it's the
definitely
race
called
to
you out.
it's the race to 10K.
Yeah.
I know.
You think you can win?
I don't, because he's got the momentum. I got my surge in August, and it kind
I'm
of.
not sub to him, so there you go. So
Oh, well, thanks. Yeah,
you're my dog in this fight. So
sure. Awesome. Well, I have 2 videos coming out next week, so hopefully I can push ahead that way, because he
But
only
you-
does one a week.
but your channel hasn't got hit with the Ad Apocalypse bitch slap yet.
Just the one old video, and then I just left it alone, and they reinstated it like 2 days
Oh,
ago.
it'll come by.
So-
I had like 3, then all of a sudden it was like 100.
But But my last video with Dan Barker was literally about the KKK, white supremacists, Hitler, and rape. That was my last video, and it's fully monetized.
totally advertiser friendly.
Yeah, that's totally. I don't get it. But of course, the people who talked about that were all Christians. We were just talking about what the Christians say about it. So.
Well, this is just a computer algorithm that goes.
Yeah, I know. But
right.
I was so sure that Dan Barker would just be stripped, but it's been fine.
That was a good video. I actually liked that one.
Thanks.
I didn't know really who Dan Barker was, but
oh no, he's former pastor and was kind of an influence for me when I was coming out of the old.
I mean, I heard the name. I guess I kind of know who he was, but I mean,
yeah.
I think I like what he had to say, though. I mean, it was a good video.
Yeah, he's smart. He's
a
smart guy.
Yeah, he made some good points.
So where am I right now? What is this channel?
This is Rhetoric and Discourse channel.
All right.
Yeah, he muted himself a while ago and hasn't really shown back up.
Was that? I can't remember. Was that the person who was?
Oh, I have to sub to Risky, I guess. I told Yusuf I would, so how do I do that?
She's not even going
to She has her means. She'll be like, Steve, you said you're going to sub to him. So where's your channel there, Risky? Is that it above?
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Let's see what we got here. Shifty Speak.
Got it.
Sub 23. And I'll even do a little note.
I think I was number 23.
No, I was number 23.
One of us was 22. The other one was 23.
I have it right here. 22 subs. Subscribe 23. Don't take my 23 away from me.
I am sorry, Steve. I do apologize. I will never speak out of turn ever again.
We have rules that are set for these hangouts.
Fuck your rules.
Which nobody follows.
Yeah, nobody does. I mean, that's kind of the whole idea behind a hangout is that you freeform fuck up.
Yeah, we really only have like one rule. Don't invite G-Man. That's pretty much it.
I'm sorry, did I hear invite G-Man into this? Is that what I just heard?
I couldn't care less.
You know what? Sadly, he might actually show up. That's the sad part.
Okay, so I have a problem. We all get shit-faced and then invite G-Man.
Oh, that would be kind of fun. I would actually enjoy that, actually.
We do that.
If I ever drink again, though. Never again.
He'll just shout us all down, and we'll laugh at him.
He wanted to come in my hangout the other day. He's like, well, I want to come and talk to you, Ross. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll actually do it. I'll invite you in. But he didn't.
How is he in person? Is he as belligerent in person as he is in his video?
I wasn't in that group that met him. So I have no idea. I would imagine he's pretty much the same. So
all of you are involved in.
You're cutting out there, Risky.
Sorry, bunch of background noise here. How did Venom? Maybe we should take advantage of that.
What? Take advantage of who now?
Venom Fang X.
Oh yeah, he's back.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I did a hangout on that like the day after he put out his second video after he came back on the scene, and then Logic was telling me he's going to do like a huge video on it, and I guess he just put it up not too recently. He did obviously a much better job because he's Logic, but yeah, Venom Fang X really just he's saying the exact same crap he said way back when. I mean, I would think that the guy would have learned something, but no, he's using the same stale arguments, same rhetoric that he had before. I don't know why he even bothered to even come back.
Kind of weird thing with Theological.
You're still breaking up, Whiskey.
You only have so many arguments you can make, and it's like, okay. What?
But his was so bad. I mean, we went through the transcript that he had, and of course, the transcript wasn't exactly what he had in the video because he ad-libs. But just by going piece by piece in that transcript, it was really wretched. It was just so bad. And I think Manifang X, I don't even know if he cares anymore about this stuff. I think he does it for the shits and giggles.
Honestly, I thought it could have easily have been just something he recorded like in 2011 and just
Nothing
found
changed.
it. And I forgot to post this in 2011. Let me do it now.
So I'm not exaggerating.
No, that was exactly what I thought. I thought I honestly thought I was on the wrong video. I thought this must have been.
He probably was just like cleaning out his hard drive and was like, oh yeah, this thing.
Yeah, I mean, Logic did a good takedown on that. I mean, I like the fact that he points out, like, look at these whole things that people call laws of logic, which, by the way, they're not. They're principles of logic, but whatever. We call them laws of logic. Why would it make a difference if God existed or not for them? I don't see why there's any argument to be had that we have to have a God to have those laws of logic exist. I mean, what would people say if God didn't exist, that the laws of logic wouldn't still hold true? I don't even know the argument how that works.
Well, I don't think at this point it's not so much that you need a God, or that he's even asserting that you need a God. I think it's more so that he needs there to be a God for it to make sense.
Oh, I agree with you. Yeah, no, I think it is that. I think that a lot of these people, they do assert that there has to be some kind of deity so they can make sense of these things, because a lot of them don't have a well-established epistemic framework, right? Their epistemology is crap. And they just think, oh, well, I don't understand this, so there has to be a God so I can make it understandable to me. And by the way, I am saying this as an agnostic, so for me to say it, it's pretty judgmental.
Yeah, I've always kind of called it the rule of the metaphor. Like, you use a metaphor to explain a very complicated like construct to somebody. Like, you explain something in simple terms, like the car works because X, Y, and Z, and they're usually pretty simple ideas. But instead of having like a chronological breakdown that makes any sort of sense, they insert things. It's the God of the gaps, sort of. But instead of God being inserted where knowledge is unknown, it's more like I need God for these things to make sense.
It's almost like it's an insecurity thing, which is understandable. Like, people naturally feel insecure when they can't predict things or make sense of their environment. So it seems like that's what they go to, is like, oh, that's the explanation. It's an easy like go-to concept that already exists in culture and society.
But they try to make it a conclusion, though, right? I mean, they actually try to say that, look, we have to have a way to account for the laws of logic, therefore a mind. And my argument is simple. Why do we have to have an accounting for them? Right. I've never had a theist been able to explain that to me. There's no reason why we have to have an accounting for them. They are just descriptive, not prescriptive. So we're just observing them. They happen to hold true for propositions, but I don't think there has to be an accounting for it. It'd be nice if there is, but it's not like going to shake my framework if there isn't.
Especially the law of identity. Like, how do you justify the need of a deity for that? That doesn't make any sense.
I think it's self-evident. I take the things as brute facts, right? I mean, I take them axiomatically.
Right.
I don't have a problem with that. But there are people that are in Reformed epistemology that think that you can't do that, and they're like, well, why not? Well, to God, no. Well, that's not a reason why I can't just take it as a brute fact.
Yeah. Or they do the opposite of the scientific method, where they start with the conclusion they want, and then they work backwards and look for justifications for that conclusion.
Well, that's the hallmark for Reformed epistemology, right? I mean, they're starting with the premise that God has to exist, and for God existence, then all these things must follow from there, which is not a properly basic belief to begin with. So,
exactly,
right, Paul?
This kind of stuff. As recently being out of this stuff, it's really honestly, it's the word law in there, law of logic, that allows them to make it seem a convincing argument to their congregation. Because when they think about laws, they think about Moses. Like, they think about, it's like the laws of physics. Well, someone
who gave us the law, who prescribed the law.
Yeah. So, I mean,
exactly.
For most of the people who are sitting in the pews, that's as far as they're ever going to think about it. So,
but it's not a law. There's principles, right? I think colloquially people call them laws, but they're not really laws as what we think of as a scientific law.
No, that's one of the first things I learned, and it's like, holy shit, I was dumb.
Right, but you hear people all the time, especially in the Reformed epistemological epistemologies, they always say, "Oh, well, these are laws of logic," and you're like, "No, they're really just not. They're just called that." Okay, but
they're more guidelines than anything else.
It's a misnomer. I mean, there's certain types of logic where some of them don't even apply, right? I mean, you can have a form of logic where you don't even have like the law of excluded middle, or there's a couple other laws of logic out there too that they don't talk about. The PSR is a law of logic, right? The principle of sufficient reason is a type of law of logic.
Right, but yet look at G-Man's video. Like even G-Man thinks that like eventually a theory will graduate into a law. I mean,
I know he doesn't understand.
But that's what most of the Christian congregation thinks. Like when it's true enough, it'll be a law instead of just being observations with.
So when you tell them we're wrong, Paul, I mean, what goes through the creationist brain? Because we all know how it works. We understand the scientific method,
right?
When we explain it to a creationist and we say, look, a theory does not graduate to become a law. Theory encapsulates everything we know about a topic, including laws, and laws are just an empirical relationship that we see that seems to be holding true. So when we tell a creationist that, when you were a creationist, what happened in your brain that said you're wrong? And when you went to go look at any of this stuff, there's no place you could have gone to find a source that said otherwise, except for creationist site.
Right, but that's why as soon as I started looking, it all fell apart. Like because you dismiss everyone else as being like the fool, like that you are blind because you don't see God. So you just don't see all the truths, right? And so those kind of things you don't bother checking because we're all based on authority, and it's someone who believed in evolution would have been the wrong authority. They would have been someone that the devil sent to lie to you. So, so
you would have thought I was an idiot if I would have said that a theory.
No, I would have thought you're lacking the knowledge that I had. Honestly. Okay. Well, not an idiot, but
you would have actually thought that in some way.
Yeah, I guess ignorant is the
ignorant. Okay.
Not stupid, but ignorant.
Okay.
Ignorant of what? That's always my thing. I don't know.
Well, the Holy Spirit, right? The Holy Spirit tells you what's true and what isn't true, and you just feel it. Like it's when your whole thing is based on what feels like it's true, then of course you can believe anything.
And of course, anybody who ever said evolution is a fact would have been like the Spirit would have been telling you that clearly cannot be the case, right?
And it also eliminates anything that's counterintuitive.
That's true.
And so anything counterintuitive can be easily dismissed. And so laws of thermodynamics, second law of thermodynamics seems super compelling because it's very intuitive that heat dissipates and things get disordered. That seems natural. So the fact that anything exists counter to it means that God must be, having his hand in that mix.
Huh. Interesting.
Hey, Paul, I have a question for you, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
So because you sound like you'd been trained in this. How did that process happen? Like, is this just did you actually have to have, for lack of a better word, classes on this? Like, we all get together and we're going to practice how we talk to non-believers.
Right. To an extent, I did go to Bible school. I went to Bible college after high school. I didn't stick it out to graduate. I ended up going to university and getting a computer science degree, but I was in youth ministry for a long, long time. So you definitely get trained in the apologetics of it all. The denomination I was in, which was Mennonite, relied much more on, I see now, was much more on keeping the people who were born in the fold than really converting anybody. And so what I was trained to teach, I can now see looking backwards, is just training to accept authority, just training to accept what someone above you says at its face value and not questioning it.
And that's a big point that I see a lot of these apologetics aren't to convert the non-believer. The apologetics are to preach to the people that actually believe this stuff and to kind of reemphasize what they already do believe, to keep them believing. That's what I see happening.
Yeah, which is why you see like the quiver film, like all the stuff about you want your congregation to be fruitful and multiply and have as many kids as possible, because they know that anywhere from 50% to 2/3, depending on the stats, are going to abandon it when they hit college age. So the only way to keep the church growing is to breed more.
That's pretty sad. Is that true stat? I mean, do you think that actually holds?
No, Ken. Yeah, no, I very much believe it, and like Ken Ham has actually commissioned a whole series of studies on it. And I've actually looked at. It's the one book I actually agree with him on. I've looked at all his methodology. And
what is the percentage? Because I don't doubt it.
So the idea is that 2/3 of people who are in evangelical Christian churches, that's a very important qualifier. The kind I was in, leave at college age, so between 19 and 23. And then they also have stats of how many were doubting by the time they were 14, and it's a huge number. It's less so in Catholic churches, for example, because a lot of Catholics are more cultural Catholics than really believing, that kind of thing.
Well, have you did you watch the thing we had the other day? Maybe it was about a week ago. It was debunking evolution. It was by Biddle, and we went through.
Yeah, I was actually surprised how you got hold of the book. But,
yeah, I don't even remember at this point how I. But
he's a weird dude. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, you saw the videos that go along with that, right? So
yeah, I've done one on him before. He's weird.
Okay, so you know the whole kids in the classroom type thing, and we're gonna be doing part 2, by the way, on Monday. Rachel wants to join us. So
oh, cool.
Come and join us as well. That's gonna be kind of fun. But yeah, that whole the guy and the girl, they basically the students, and they're just shaking up the teachers and talking about how evolution's wrong and all this stuff. So it's a coordinated effort. And again, I see that tailored to people that actually are going to believe them from the beginning, right? I don't.
Of course,
I can never watch that and go, "Oh my God, these people are making a point." It's just outlandishly wrong.
Yeah, and they just like I was talking about the laws of logic. They love to play those particular skits. Will often misuse words like fossil or whatever. They know. I know in my head they know they're misusing it, but they're using it in the broadest sense so that their sentence can sound convincing and yet maybe not be a full lie.
Is that something that you felt like you had to think about? Was like, yeah, I am lying, but I am lying for a good reason, or like how did you make that mesh in your head?
I didn't ever believe I was lying. I had the sin, as it were, of not investigating the claims that I just was repeating. If I had stayed, I would have to be lying. But it's, again, I had the cognitive dissonance enough for a long time that was like in my head. I got a sense that not everything that I heard was completely right, or that there was probably good counters to it, and that's what eventually caused me to just be so damaged intellectually with the cognitive dissonance that I actually decided I was going to go find the best Christian apologetics and like learn all the facts. I didn't know anything about science, but I felt like, you know, everyone from the pulpit tells me that we have the answers, and so, well, we must have them. I don't know if that's an answer, but
think strongly though. Now, I mean, think now how much you've learned and you've gained, and now you are what I consider to be a very critical thinker, and that's a skill set of itself, right?
Yeah, and it surprises me how I could have done that in other areas of my life. Like I can, you know, as a software engineer for most of my life, tearing apart problems and, you know, deconstructing them and all that kind of stuff. How I never applied that to my faith.
It's compartmentalization.
Yeah, I guess so.
It really is.
Yeah, I grew up religious, but I wasn't that religious to the point where I was Catholic, and Catholic is very cult. Like I was Mexican, so it was a very cultural thing. It was less about believing it was all true. It was just like my parents are Catholic, and I go to church once a year or something.
No, I was literally in Bible memorization competitions at an international level.
Oh wow!
I could quote most of the New Testament at one point. So that was a waste of time.
Thanks, Smells. It's nice meeting you, Smells.
Hey, Smelly. Bye, Smelly.
I have him on Twitter. I think I do. Don't you know?
Yeah. But yeah, for all the people watching, make sure you go I can advertise you guys because, you know, a little YouTuber like me go subscribe to fucking Smelly. If you haven't. But this is very interesting, Paul. Because like I said, I have a different mine was so mild religiously that it's hard, you know, it's interesting to see the harder perspective, your perspective on it.
I was raised around Mormons. So,
I mean,
So
Well,
I know my
I
wife
feel-
struggled with it. Like my wife was a Christian and young Earth creationist and went to a Christian college and stuff. And so when we were dating, she would struggle with it quite a bit. But that was years ago, and I don't know. I guess we don't talk much about it anymore. But she considers herself an atheist now.
Okay.
I don't know that she struggled with it.
I'm just kind of curious. Why did you lose all your faith? If I can ask Paul. I mean, obviously you do know now, obviously that the young Earth creation is this.
Yeah, no, and Young Earth alone wasn't didn't get me to the atheism. What that struck me was I was a very hardline biblical inerrantist, meaning that if there was like one problem, then it was all garbage. And from the pulpit they would say things like that. There isn't a single, chink that can be put in this armor.
Wow, really
so
wrong.
for me, it fell apart then because Jesus and Paul, what really I struggled with, Jesus and Paul very much referenced Adam and Eve as historical people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Why?
And so theistic, as soon as I saw theistic evolution, which could have been a path I went down, I was like, they are not being honest about the apologetics that I had learned. Like I had learned taking the Greek classes and all that kind of stuff. And so for me, that was the starting point. And then I dove hard into how did this Bible even come to be in our hands? And just to start reading Bart Ehrman and the stuff that my Bible school professors, who I literally would message, and like, did you know that a third of the epistles we know are forgeries? Like, yeah, we knew that. So like, you never told us that in class. You didn't. Like, that was not something that comes up.
What's the red lettering in the NIV?
Right, and that's where I started getting quite angry. Was literally the people who trained me know about these issues and they don't talk about them. And so
there are Christians that don't claim biblical inerrancy, and what they do mean by it is that whatever they mean by the originals or God's message was inerrant, right? It's when they actually say, "Oh, the King James version is inerrant." Well, that's a very small group of people that think that.
Right.
I don't think you could even remotely.
But so, Steve, like then I got to the point, just to finish my answer. Basically, I got there to the point where it's like, well, I'm going to work at this at the opposite end. I'm going to assume none of it again. So I didn't tear it apart verse by verse. I got to the point was, well, let me see what can I prove. Let me start from zero as if I'd never heard of this. And what can I prove? And it was like, well, none of it. Like I can't prove any of it. Except
for maybe the locations, the rest just
right. But that's, as a guy who writes fiction, I've put the names of cities in my things. I kind of understood that intuitively before I even started getting into the atheist apologetics. So
yeah, that's really impressive to me that you were willing to go to point zero and see where it went from there. Not a lot of people would do that.
It's a hard thing to do, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I think if you know my story, I kind of lost my family and friends and businesses over all this truth seeking. So it was it was pretty consternating. It was consternating, but yeah.
I try really hard to relate to people in your position, or at least that have been in your position, because I've always been an atheist, and so has most of my family. So I've never been in that situation where I've had to deal with that. So it's pretty extreme, but so yeah, I have a lot of admiration and respect for people that like you that put that over, put truth and over that sort of
thing. Which is partly why I handle my channel gently, because I really want to speak. I try and speak in a way that I might have listened to while I was still on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, you're not heavy-handed.
No.
Right.
Yeah, I come across as much more heavy-handed than you would ever be.
Right.
But realistic. That's how people knew me is I would go after you on a creationist, and I would go, full bore. And I got one on a sneak preview. I got one coming in Sunday, Paul, for the Sunday show. You may know him, Paul Nowall from Twitter.
It doesn't ring a bell, but maybe if I saw the
he's
graphic.
A pretty well known creationist that people know on Twitter.
Okay,
he runs the circuit with another guy named Joe Sinskowski.
Okay, yeah,
and my friend Ash, which is Scienticia Perceptium.
Cool,
joining us if you know who he is. But yeah, this guy Paul seems to be a decent guy, right? He's not like he's like not a rabid creationist, right? And so I've always been able to get along with him on Twitter, right? I don't say mean things to him. I'm not rabid to him because he's not rabid to me. But for some reason, he's like, hey, let's do this. Let's go on air and let's talk about young earth creationists. I'm like, okay, dude, this Sunday, let's do it. So.
Yeah, and I mean, I forgot. I have to line up for you this this guy from this Natural Museum guy that I wanted to hook you up with. I'll put that together.
You want to get the guy? Okay, you know what? Hey, you know what? Women have.
I feed you. So I gave you the flat Earth person. You have to make that happen. And
yeah, I'm waiting for Reds wants to make that happen, but he's out of town.
Yeah.
But I wanted to hold off because I think Reds would find that to be very entertaining. So I told that guy, you know, we'll get him on.
Cool.
Duddy said, "Oh, Steve, knock it off. None of the newer atheists and skeptics are heavy-handed. The collective politeness level is probably actually too high." I don't know if I agree with that. It depends on the channel. I mean, not all, you know, atheists are polite. Not all of them are heavy-handed. I think there's a huge gradient out there of styles, right? And some styles I prefer more than others. Right?
It depends on your goal too. So like if the goal of your channel is to sort of convince believers, then you're not going to go with the heavy-handed stuff. But like if you're largely
to entertain and mock,
doubting,
yes, that's why you're entertaining, Steve, and I'm not. That's
right. I mean, at least you know what? At least I'm honest about that, right?
Yep.
I'm not trying to change the hearts and minds of people. I mean, people have left it. I mean, we have had some successes, obviously, like, you know, Wayne and Hunter Bailey. He used to be a young creationist, and you know, he finally left. So we have had successes, but I'm not going to delude myself and think that people, you know, watch my channel and go, "Oh, I'm going to give up younger creationism." No, probably not.
Hey, you never know. But yeah.
Anyway, guys, I'm too sober to keep hanging out. I have to fix that.
I should actually probably get going.
All right, sounds good. We can end it here, guys. So, thank you all for coming onto my channel so randomly and in such a short notice.
Thanks for the invite.
You know what made me feel better? Because like I said, I was really hungover today. That shitty day, so this was nice.
All right, awesome. Everyone else, subscribe to these guys. All the stuff in the description, and thanks everybody for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks, man.